Yay! So, did you notice the name of this event? It's FringeNYC 2020. And that's not just because my husband has exploding eyeballs, which is a personal joke. But it does have to do with our vision for the festival. And in 2020, the year 2020, the final component of FringeNYC, the National Fringe, is established. Fringe DEV. Okay, we're not really going to call it that. We had to call it something to make it up. But this is all about development. That elusive path which aids the further development of a piece following FringeNYC. You see, one of the reasons that the Edinburgh model works in Edinburgh and for the UK is that it's a marketplace for an established small UK touring market. This touring circuit is a part of their cultural heritage, and that makes the Edinburgh Festival Fringe a smorgasbord for those presenters. We ain't got that. We don't have that in the US. The touring circuit for small indie performance doesn't exist. And it's certainly not a part of our cultural heritage here, at least not since, vaudeville. Similarly, the reason the CAF, Canadian Association of Fringe Festivals model, works in Canada is that CAF has, by virtue of it being a membership organization, they've made a fringe festival touring circuit happen across Canada. We can't accomplish that in the US because our festivals are so necessarily different. So we're solving that by bringing the affiliated Fringe Award winners to New York, like we said, to hang out and play with our local and international artists at the Alumni Association-led convening, right? So how do we solve the what happens after the festival issue? We've got to make the developmental road by walking. Let's create a development path by having some of our New York City big sister organizations present an award at our closing night party to the piece that they'd like to further develop. Then when they do it as a part of their following season, we'd be happy to help promote it for them. They all want our email list anyway. And I know our audience would love to get info about a fringe show getting additional opportunities. But what about nationally and internationally? Well, let's see. We do have lots of FringeNYC alumni who now run venues across the country. We're 20 years old, gosh darn it. We know some important big shots. And those second stages all across the country could probably use some fringe. And maybe those national performance spaces would want a presence in New York City in October at our festival, by bringing their further developed next generation piece back to FringeNYC. And that is where the work begins. But also, now the fellowship and collaboration begins. As Frank's film just showed, it took a lot of people to start a fringe festival in New York City. And we couldn't be more excited about our potential as an organization, as a festival, and as a community. We know that what we all do has become even more vital. We're looking forward to forming steering committees, focus groups, task force visa. We want to thank those of you who have already joined our Alumni Association Steering Committee, like Liesl said, and the U.S. Fringes Focus Group. And in the coming weeks, we're going to be forming an Other Borough Venue Steering Committee, seeking expressions of interest from potential Manhattan venue homes, beginning conversations with potential college and university partners, forming a steering committee of big sister organizations who might serve as development partners, and meeting with possible media partners and sponsors. Together, we can make this happen. This is our vision, and this is our 3-year strategic plan. It's what we call FringeNYC 2020. If y'all can see it, let me hear you say, we can see it. Can you see it? Can you see it? Let's make a fringe.